Good morning, everyone. We will now begin the morning service of the Miroku Association headquarters, asking God and Meishu-sama to protect and bless us as we participate today in the construction of paradise on earth. Amatsu-Norito and Miroku Prayer. Please stand. Taka amahara ni kamuzumarimasu kamurogi kamuromi no mikoto mochite sumemi oya kamu izanagi no mikoto tsukushi no himoka no tachihana no Odo no ahagi hara ni misogi hara itamo toki ni narimaseru. Haraido no okami chi moro moro no maga goto tsumi kegareo. Harai tamai kiyome tamai tomao sukoto do yoshio. Amatsu kami kuni tsukami yao yorozu no kami tachi tomoni. Ame no fuchi koma no mimi furi tatete. Hikoshi beseto kashikomi kashikomi momaosu. Miroku o mikami mamori tamae saki hai tamae. Miroku o mikami mamori tamae saki hai tamae. Oshie ni oya nushi no kami mamori saki hai tamae. Oshie ni oya nushi no kami mamori tamae saki hai tamae. Kam nagara tamachi kam nagara tamachi haimase. Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan and for the privilege of channeling and receiving Johrei. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified as we live your truth given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized, with health, peace, and prosperity, a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan. Please be seated for group Johrei. Obrigado. Today's teaching is entitled Makoto. It's from Daily Inspirations, page 41. No matter how hard and steep the road may be, I can walk onward with happiness and ease. If I have the staff of love upon. The integrity of those who have no faith in God is shallow and superficial. Those with faith have true integrity. Though we may speak thousands of words smoothly, they do not come from hearts full of Makoto, they are empty and powerless. Speech can cause miracles. Ether, in which its basic sounds, with all their variations in frequency, are in continual vibratory motion. These are the soundless sounds and voiceless voices filling the ether, which human ears cannot hear. By means of its frequencies, all things in the universe come into existence, and they in turn emit certain wavelengths of sound. The words we utter are impressed upon the ether that surrounds us, creating vibrations that influence the spiritual realm. They emit high vibrations, which diminish the clouds and while ugly or negative words emit low vibrations, which increase the clouds. The wavelengths of the words that convey good and loving thoughts are in attunement with the law of truth, virtue, and beauty. They are pleasing to the human ear because they affect the soul, the center of awareness. Conversely, bad and hateful words do not reach the soul but stop at the mind. It is also important to note that it is not only the vibrations of the words themselves that determine their effect, but also the degree of purity of the spiritual being uttering them. The purer the soul, the more powerful will be the vibrational waves emitted by the words being uttered. Therefore, we must always do our utmost to raise our vibrations to a higher plane, so our words will have greater power. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the morning service of the Miroku Association headquarters. This morning, I have this faith experience I'd like to share with you from Gilmar Marcondes de Moraes Jr. He's from the Brooklyn Johrei Center in São Paulo, Brazil. Gilmar is 37 years old and he's a movie producer. He became a member in 2017. However, by the end of 2018, he distanced himself from the dedications. At the beginning of social isolation in March of last year, he felt anguished and unusually tired. He had headaches and pain in his neck and shoulders, which made him very worried. He believed that it was because of the stress at work, in which he experienced some conflict situations, and also because of the lack of physical exercises, which was part of his routine. He exercised at home, however, within a week, the pains intensified. In April 2020, he received a call from the youth leader at the Johrei Center, inviting him to join the Meishu-sama's teachings weekly online study group. On the occasion, they scheduled a virtual interview with their minister for a few days. During the conversations, Gilmar was able to report what was going on about his ancestors, and he remembered his grandfather and an uncle who died in tragic ways in 1969 and 2000, respectively. Gilmar was the minister explained about the spiritual cords and how important it is to express gratitude to God as representatives of the ancestors. Soon after the conversation, he requested the Sorei Saishi, which is the enshrinement of ancestors, and materialized a special donation of gratitude. He began watching, intensified the reading of Meishu-sama's teachings, and dedicated to set up live broadcasts of the services at the Johrei Center. In this way, his pains and negative thoughts gradually diminished. At work, he adopted a more serene posture, listening more, talking less, and exercising gratitude. Thus, was able to create a more harmonious relationship with his boss and coworkers. This experience, he learned that when we let to God and Meishu-sama through dedications, in a short time, situations change completely. He regained tranquility and joy, as well as freed himself from physical pain. Gilmar understood that we can improve our present and future by changing our feelings and attitudes. Currently, he continues with the weekly dedications at the Johrei Center, broadcasting services. Gilmar is very grateful to God, Meishu-sama, and his ancestors for the permission to return to serve the divine word and contribute to the realization of paradise on earth. You another experience I would like to share with you this morning. This one is from Vasco Mariano Chisoka. She's from the Kunze Johrei Center in Bié, Angola, Africa. Vasco Mariano is a Johrei member and he gives service as an assistant missionary. He was introduced to our church in July of this year through his cousin. The reasons behind his being guided were illnesses and his excessive debts. Vasco suffered from severe stomach pains and constant weakness. He did medical exams by which several pathologies were detected, such as intestinal and pulmonary infection, nervous system problems, rheumatism, and others. To solve these problems, he went to hospitals and even with various treatments, he didn't have positive results. He then turned his attention to traditional folk treatments, for which he spent large sums of money. Finally, his financial situation was tight to the point of starting to sell the furniture at his home to cover the costs of treatments. Even so, he didn't get any improvements. It was in this context of suffering that his cousin decided to guide Vasco to our church. At the time, he was in the province of Benguela, and over the phone, his cousin asked Vasco to look for our church in that part of Angola. He did so, and there he was received by a missionary, and after a brief interview, guided Vasco to our basic practice of faith. With some difficulties, he followed the guidance received, and at the beginning of August, he returned to Bié, where he lives with his family, but he didn't discard the dedication and immediately sought the church. Finding the Johrei Center, he was received by the minister there, who reinforced the guidance he had previously received and introduced Vasco to a missionary who would assist him. The experience of faith that he would like to share with us is related to cleaning, flower arranging, and implementing a home garden. On the 17th of August, the minister and the youth group carried out a cleaning at his house. The next day, his wife had a dream that a lady appeared and said, "Look, tell your husband that we are coming." They didn't pay a minimum attention about the dream, but a day later, his wife went into a trance. Her grandmother's spirit manifested in her and witnessed by her husband, told the company of her husband, and told Vasco the following: "Thanks to the cleaning that was done, we were able to enter your home. We came to explain to you the origin of your illness. You had a checkup, but what you've been diagnosed is actually the result of the dirt you have accumulated from other women you've cheated on. You've been poisoned. What is in your body is very toxic, and it will take some time to get rid of. But with donations and dedication, time can be shortened. We came to ask you not to poison your body anymore and to comply with what the pastor instructed you to do. In the end, they left him the recommendation that he materializes a donation of apology to his wife's family for having entered it without having legalized their marital relationship. They also asked for another donation to ask for forgiveness from all ancestors hurt by him through past relationships and reinforced that he pays more attention to the mother and to children who are in the Cuando Cubango province and makes the proposal to the woman he lives with. They reassured him by telling not to worry about money, as what was needed would be sent on time. Thanks to God, this gave him the strength to continue to follow even more the guidelines that were given by the minister. And as a result of this effort, he has noticed changes that he would like to report. The weakness he was feeling disappeared, and he who couldn't lift heavy things was surprised when he visited the nature farming site. He dedicated with an energy and strength that not even he believed. Since then, he has been doing his activities in a normal way. He used not to sleep well and spend the nights waiting for the dawn. Thank God now he sleeps peacefully. He had an uncontrollable hunger and was constantly eating, but thank God the situation was transformed and so he returned to a normal state. He was quite debilitated, but he recovered and the noise he was making in his stomach disappeared. To express his gratitude, he made a donation and commitment to make a special donation with all his salary as soon as he receives it. Vasco learned that suffering is one of the means that allow us to approach God and that our church is the religion that came to illuminate and reveal the mysteries of the spiritual world. There is no longer any doubt for him that Meishu-sama is really the Messiah waited by humanity. He became a member to bring the light of salvation to others, thus participating in the construction of paradise on earth. By permission of God and Meishu-sama, he guided 3 people to our church. He has his home garden and makes his donations regularly. Vasco is very grateful to the Supreme God, Messiah Meishu-sama, and his ancestors for allowing him to be introduced to this wonderful path of salvation. Thank you very much for attending this morning service, for listening to these faith experiences. I wish you a wonderful day, a wonderful week. And with this concludes our morning service. Thank you very much.